Hi, Dr. Ellie Scott here from Stringtown Animal Hospital, and today we're going to talk about how to get some medications into your pet. So we're here in a relaxed environment at my own home. I've recruited Riddick to help me with some of the demonstrations, and we're going to make it a successful treatment for you. So we have a couple of different things to go over. We want to talk about size of medications. We want to talk about how we're going to get the medications into our pets. And then obviously we're going to talk about just the success of rewarding our babies when they let us do things that we need to do. So I've asked Riddick to come in so we can view some different types of strategies, and he is always a willing participant for us. So the first thing we want to talk about is what are we going to give our pets to get these medications in? And it's very important for us to remember that we don't want to cause more issues by what we're giving the medications in. So we don't want to use things that are going to be high in fat or contain anything that's going to irritate the lining of the stomach and cause diarrhea as a complication of the actual medication that we're giving. So a lot of people want to give peanut butter or cheese or like a hot dog and hide it in that, and that can certainly cause further problems with high fat content or presence of xylitol in some of the peanut butters. And so we want to stay away from those items and use something that is approved for a dog to ingest safely. So my number one go-to for getting medications in is to use the pill pockets, and I am very fond of the hickory smoked flavoring of the pill pockets, as you can see Riddick is as well. These are very good at masking some of the odors that are undetectable by our nose, but are very detectable by canine noses of the medications that are on the tablets or within the capsules. So that's one reason why these are just really, really great. They have a lot of odor to them that smells really, really good. They also have a lot of taste, and so it's really, really easy when the dogs get these in their mouth. They want to eat them, and they just kind of swallow them very readily. And then the third reason that I like these is because they are a very nice, soft type of material, and it makes it very easy to mold the tablets and capsules around them, and hiding them very easy. They don't come apart where you end up with the pill and the pocket in their mouth at the same time. Now, one thing that we should obviously mention is that some dogs are allergic to some food substances, and so you should always make sure that your own dog is able to eat the things that we are going to give the medications in. There are hypoallergenic pill pockets, as well as some other items that we can certainly help you out with to figure out what's the best route to safely and effectively get the medications inside of your furry family member. So my second preferred item is to go with a pate canned diet that is low in fat, so that it's not going to, again, irritate any gastrointestinal lining or decrease absorption of medications because of what I'm using. So my fondest canned food is the Hill's Prescription ID, but basically it is exactly what we want. It's high fiber, low fat, great palatability, one of Riddick's most favorite foods. It is not uncommon for us to refer to this as Riddick's crack at the office, and it is definitely a go-to for him to do anything that he would prefer not to do. You can convince him very easily with some of this ID. But the most important things are that it is low in fat, and it is a pate, which is going to make it easier for me to mold around tablets and, again, stick to them so that there's no separation of the medication in the mouth with the food substance. So these two items, the hickory smoked pill pockets and the ID intestinal diet canned pate food, are my two top items for giving medications to my pets, and what I would recommend for you as well. So if we move on to talking about the different varieties of pills and capsules and tablets and all of those things, Riddick is a little bit of an elder fella, and so he does take some medications on a regular basis. He varies those in size greatly. So he takes a fatty acid capsule, which is quite a large capsule, if you can see, quite a bit bigger than what a normal antibiotic or something would be like that. And obviously this is derived from a fish oil, so it does have quite a bit of odor to it that I can even detect, so certainly he can detect that as well. And then he takes a glucosamine chondroitin sulfate supplement that is in a capsule form with some powder on it. And it's about the size of what an antibiotic would be if it was in a capsule form. And then he takes some anti-inflammatories and some gastroprotectant antacids to prevent any irritation in his stomach from those medications. And those come in a very small tablet form, and so very, very different size and shape than his capsules are. And then he also takes obviously his heartworm and flea preventative on a monthly basis. And those tend to come in flavored tablet forms or even almost look like beef chewies. And a lot of dogs will take those without any additional preparation, but some don't. And so you should never hesitate to give those with some of the products we're talking about today, the pill pockets or the intestinal diet canned food, to help with delivery of those substances. He certainly is willing to take these things on their own, but just for demonstration, we're going to give him his Sentinel heartworm preventative today in some of his favorite treats. And remembering that that medication is required to be given with food in order to activate the flea substance that is in that product. And I definitely want that for his coverage as well as his heartworm coverage. And so we're going to give him one of his favorite things, which is his ID diet, at the end with a small portion of food and his tablet. So this is what his Sentinel tablet looks like. Again, it's kind of a larger than normal size tablet, but it's obviously abnormal shaped as well, and certainly is flavored, so it definitely has an odor, which hopefully is doggy friendly, but some dogs don't find that to be the case. And so we want to always have that option to be able to put it in something safely to do that. So when I'm getting my dogs ready, you know, Riddick's, he's an old hat. He takes multiple tablets and medications a day for his comfort, and so he's not in a requirement of this. But when I do first start giving dogs medications, I want to make sure that the delivery agent isn't the reason that they're stopping that. So I initially will give them pill pockets or the canned food separate from the medications to make sure that it's something that they enjoy. So I have my pill pockets here. I'm just going to go ahead and give him a little bit of a treat, which he will be more than happy to take. So I'm just going to open that up. As you notice, if you've not seen them, they kind of look like a funny little volcano type thing without the top on it, and it's got a nice hole in the center that I can stick his little tablets in. So like I said, I know he loves these, but just for you at home, I might take a small portion of it and just make sure, hey, does that seem feasible? Oh, he loves that. And now, am I just concerned maybe that the size would be a little bit strange? And so I'm going to act like maybe I put a pill in there. I'm going to kind of mold it around like I would think it would be for a capsule or a pill. Again, there's nothing in there at this point, but I want him to have a chance to explore it before there's something in there that he may object to. So now I'm just going to give him the rest of that. He seems very happy with that, so I feel like I could easily load up a medication and give that to him. So once I've established that that's okay, on the back of every pill pocket bag, it explains these steps that we're going to do. And one thing that is very, very important is that because there is some bitterness to tablets and capsules of differing types, we want to make sure that the hand of which we are touching the capsule or tablet does not come in contact with the pill pocket itself. So it is going to demonstrate to you on the bag how to stick the tablet or capsule inside of it, then gently kind of push up the pill pocket around that tablet and then seal it at the top. And so therefore we are not contaminating any bitterness that might be on one hand with the other one. So again, if I take out my little pill pocket here, and of course, again, very willing participants that I have, hopefully your babies will be just as willing of a participant. So I've got my pill pocket. I've got the little top of it open up there. And again, like I said, these are so moist. These hickory smoked are just, they're just wonderful for doing this. We're gonna start with his biggest, his capsule of his fatty acids. So again, I'm handling that with my left hand. I'm now going to stick that into the center here and kind of push down, while I'm gently squishing up the top of that, so you can still see kind of the top of the medication on that. And then as it gets close to that, I'm going to even more just molding it around that. And so now I have a completely covered capsule that I can give him without him objecting in any way. So that's exactly what we want. And so now I'm just going to feed that to him. He loves it. Oh, he says, So you notice he used his tongue a bit to feel around of it, and then he swallowed it. So it was so good that there was no need for him to investigate or find out exactly what was in there. Now again, if I needed to give something smaller, I will often just use a capsule pill pocket, because just for my simplicity, I choose to not have multiple sizes of tablets and capsules at home. But one thing that's really nice about these is because they are so big, if I need a separate one, I have found that I can just break this in half, and now I have kind of a C shape to that pill pocket. And I'm going to take his very small tablet. Again, I'm handling the tablet with my left hand and the pill pocket with my right hand. I'm just going to sit it kind of right in that little C shape. I'm going to push around that tablet with my right hand. And then as it gets covered, I'm going to mold it completely into the center, and so it isn't anywhere where he can reach that little tablet. Once I've got that accomplished, and then I'm just going to feed it in, and he's going to take it without any issue. And again, he's old hat. He loves this, but always good to reward your dog for that. When I have to give a tablet, I love my dog so much that I'm just going to give him the other half of that pill packet as a treat. And so I've got that other one. I'm going to act like I put a pill in it. I'm going to squish it around so that he thinks that there is another tablet in there, and then he just gets to have that one as well because he's a good boy for me. So now we're going to move on to using the ID canned diet, or a pate canned diet that is low in fat. And so we're going to see, obviously, again, does he like this? Is it something he will be happy with taking with his medications? And this is going to be a little bit messier. And so I certainly always make sure that, I'm okay with that. If you don't like to have dog food on your hands, you may want to use gloves, something of that nature. However, do remember that gloves will often have some type of a rubbery substance that could come off on the food. And then again, they may refuse taking their medication based on that instead of based on the delivery system itself. And then it is harder to not contaminate the treat hand with the tablet when you're using the canned food, because there's a lot of making a meatball and just kind of putting things together. So that's something that you need to be aware of as well. So I've already opened a can of the ID, so you can see that in here it's a very nice pate. I used just a knife to kind of mix it up a little bit and make it so it wasn't just a flat big chunk like the canned berry that we have on Thanksgiving. And so I've got that prepared. Again, I'm just going to take a small amount out and put it in my hand. I'm going to kind of move it around, because remember, when I put it in a pill, it's going to be touched quite a bit, and so I want him to know that. Obviously, like we talked about before, this is Riddick's crack, so you saw I had to kind of hold him back a bit so that he wouldn't take that immediately. But he obviously loves it. It's not something I need to worry about that he's going to refuse his medication because of this. So we're going to move on to putting in a capsule, which again would be the same for a tablet. So we're going to use his little capsule that is about the same size as an antibiotic. It cannot be used as a sprinkle, which most antibiotics can't be. It needs to stay in its full capsule form. And if he were to bite into it, it may be bitter. So I'm going to try very hard to make sure that I have completely covered the capsule enough and made a small enough bite of the ID that he wants to take it without having to do a lot of rooting around. I don't want to just dump this in a whole bowl of ID canned food, because then he's going to want to continue to eat around that or find it and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have a nice volume. So I'm just going to kind of start with this much. I'm going to try to keep it from contaminating it. So I'm going to put it on the top there, and then I'm going to just dig in again with it laying right on the top of that, and I'm going to get a little bit more of that ID. And I'm going to kind of mush it around with my hand like I did with the pill pocket, and I'm going to form just a gooey mess of a meatball. And then I'm going to take that meatball and I'm going to give it right to him, and he's going to love that. I'm going to reward him by saying, oh, he's such a good boy. Thank you for taking your little treat for me. I never call my dogs medicine when I give it to them. I don't know if that's just me being silly or if it really does help, but I find that I try to use the same things that they love all the time. So treat, cookie, whatever it is that they're used to having. So again, I want to reward him for that. So even though he loves it, I'm just going to give him a small another meatball. Again, I'm going to mush it around. So that's what it's always going to be like when I'm touching it. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to feed that again so that he can have another reward. And you noticed when he took all of those IDs, there was no maneuvering around to try to find out, what's in there. He just wanted that canned food and wanted to get it in. So now what we're going to do, the last thing we're going to go over here today, is how to get his Sentinel in him with a meal. And so that can always also be challenging. Even if he likes the tablet, I want it to be with a meal because I want his flea prevention to be in there. I want it to activate so that I don't have to worry about him getting fleas. And so again, that was that really kind of weird star-shaped tablet that is beef flavored. And it's, it's supposed to be taken without any issue, so I probably don't need to worry quite as much about cross-contaminating with either hand. As you can see, he does really like it, and so this is going to be difficult to get him to wait until we're done. I'm also going to give him a fair amount of food in his bowl of the ID along with his medicine, but I'm going to put that medicine again in a meatball once I know he's hungry and he's ready to eat. So even if I know he likes his ID, I want to make sure right now he's willing to eat for me because I want him to eat not only his medicine, but also a meal. And so I'm going to say, hey, Riddick, are you hungry? He's very hungry still. He would probably eat all day, especially his little canned food. Now I'm going to prepare my meatball. So again, I've got this. I'm going to put my tablet in. I'm going to grab again out of my can. I'm going to mush it all around and make a really messy meatball in my hand. And then I'm going to let him eat that. And again, I'm rewarding him. He's such a good boy. Thank you so much. I want you to be healthy. I'm glad that you're taking all of your cookies for me. Again, referring to it as his cookie, not as a medicine or something that we do on a usual basis. And then, because I need him to eat a meal, I'm going to use some of this can that I have been using for his medication delivery and just put it in his bowl for him. And then I won't have to worry that he did not get his flea preventative activated. And I'm just going to ask him if he'd like to eat that, and he's very, very, very willing to do that for me. And so here he goes, and I don't have to worry that he's gotten a meal because I've watched it, and it's something he likes, and everything is very, very happy inside of him, and he's going to be healthy, which is what I really, really want. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to always reward your dog for letting them do whatever it is that you need to do, whether that be with verbal praise or treats or a special playtime after your event. We thank you so much for joining us at Stringtown Animal Hospital. We love all of you as though you are our own family members. We want you to be successful. Please don't ever hesitate to call, text, email, any questions or concerns that you may have. Subscribe to our channel for further how-to videos so that we can make your life easy and your dogs and cats healthy.